Money. I'm Nozi Pombanjwa, and this is CNBC Africa's freshest and youngest show. It's about us, the ones who want to go beyond the hustle, the ones who want to break the bank. Now, in today's show, we're chatting to Clive Ramathibela-Smith from Clivera-Inc, and he's giving us the one-on-one on how to build an empire. We're also speaking to Daniella Shapiro, and she is the CEO of DanielaShapiro.com, and she's going to help us take our personal brands into the breaking the bank domain. So do stay tuned and let's get rich. I'm sitting down with Clive Ramathibela-Smith from Clivera-Inc, and he's joining us today for our one-on-one on how to build an empire. Now, Clive, I want to start off with a tweet that came from a Young Money viewer. The tweet came through and says, look, I want to build an empire, but I'm having lots of trouble in terms of getting the demand and the supply equation right. I've got this manufacturing company that makes furniture, but there's just no demand. So let's get back to basics. How do we make sure that we're building a company that's going to break the bank?
Well, the most important thing is that he's in manufacturing, which is fantastic, because that is exactly what becoming black industrialist is all about. It's about creating the guys that will become the next big thing within the South African scope of business in manufacturing. Our country is not producing enough.
Yeah.
And so manufacturing is one of the aspects that we look at. So one of the things I would want him to do, in actual fact, if he's got a proper business plan that is already put in place, obviously for this kind of thing, you need credible mass. And how do you create credible mass, Noz, is that you need to partner with the great guys, with the big guys. I can tell you now, immediately, without even a shadow of a doubt, if you approach the IDC or the DTI, they'll be prepared, if he's got a strong business point to make, to give up to 30 million, which is called the incubation fund, which has helped a lot of young people who are in the manufacturing industry to start making noise.
You're talking
about what they
big
do.
money here. We're talking 30 million rand. We're
Yep.
talking really deep funds. And I'm getting a sense, even from the tweet, that the scope of possibility is somewhat limited. He's talking about a market demand from the township. Should we be even thinking within the borders of South Africa? Surely, if you're saying it's about scale, we should be thinking, how do we serve Southern Africa?
Well, if you want to be the next big thing, you have to start small. We know that. But a lot of businesses struggle and choke over financial constraints. So you need yourself to be marketed easily, and you need to start to create credible mass. So he's got obviously he's got a target market. It's the township. But does it have to be limited to that? How many people are living today in the suburbs, so-called Lani areas, who come from Soweto?
Yeah.
So that can also be your target market. If you're prepared to work a little bit harder, put more emphasis on your design and make sure your production is very good, then you increase your capacity and make sure that you have a good partner to support that particular rollout. And then that way, you've got a nice chunk, big, massive market plan that's going to make sure that everything that you sell is actually credible.
Now, you've touched on a very important aspect as well, and this is about tapping into those funds. We've got the likes of the IDC that you've mentioned, the Development Bank of Southern Africa, National Empowerment Fund, and all of that. Let's talk about that game plan. What are the do's and don'ts that you should be thinking about as you go in with your funding application if you want to unlock the millions?
It's unbelievable how many applications that come onto our shores, and we help the guys, and they go and they never come back. What happens is they give up because maybe they've left out a page, they've left out something that they haven't filled out, and the guy just gives up, simply gives up, and doesn't continue to go knock on that door. And our young people, if they don't realize that, in actual fact, perseverance is the mother of all successes. So you need to be persistent and make sure that you knock on that door. If there's something that you don't understand about the application, go back to them, ask them for a meeting, speak to the consultant, and ask them, what is it that I'm doing wrong? Where is it that I'm not doing right, so that I can fix it, so I can get access to these funds? Because the thing is, they are available.
So the money is there, the ideas are there. What about the power of partnerships? I mean, I think certain times people look at a potential project and they think, maybe if I go in some sort of consortium with other people, I have more pulling power and perhaps unlock more funds. Is that a reality of how this funding game actually plays out or not?
Absolutely, because the mechanism behind it is getting somebody that's already there, that's experienced, and creating a partnership. So it doesn't have to be monetary. It can be in terms of support, mentorship. It can be somebody that's already in the business who understands furniture. Barkos Brothers, I'm just saying. So maybe the guy already understands the market that he's playing in. So he just needs some sort of holding hand to help him to establish a stronger brand. And if you partner with the right people, they expose you to their network. And sometimes they don't need that network anymore. They've already advanced to the next level.
Right.
So to help you to get there, you do need some sort of capital, and that's why I speak about talking to the likes of the IDC and the DTI to help you probably to sustain yourself while you're building this wonderful bridge of opportunity.
While you're building this wonderful bridge of opportunity, two things: social capital, get yourself a mentor, get yourself somebody who can open your networks, and of course, pure capital, and that's what you're going to need as you begin to tap into the demand that you've identified in the market. A big thank you to Clive Ramathibela-Smith from Clivera-Inc, helping us with the basics on where to start when you're starting to build that empire. She started from the bottom, now she's here. We're speaking to Daniela Shapiro. She is the chief executive of DanielaShapiro.com. She's under 30 and she's breaking the bank. Daniela, thank you so much for making the time to join us. What do you do in a nutshell?
Thank you for having me. In a nutshell, I'm a branding and marketing strategist. I'm a disruptive entrepreneur, and I'm a business person. I'm always looking for new opportunities in the market space in general. I launch new brands into the market. I take brands and companies that aren't working well and I give them a facelift.
Right.
Change them around, give them some oomph, relaunch their marketing strategies and create something wonderful.
Are you making money from this segment? Because it seems as if brand revitalization, if I can call it that, sounds like something really exciting. And when it's an exciting space, lots of players want to get into the market.
Absolutely.
Is there money still to be made?
Absolutely, there's a lot of money to be made in the industry. Because the market is so saturated with so much competition, as you say, why I stand out is because I'm disruptive with every single thing I do. So I take something and I turn it on its head. You can't be scared, you can't be a sheep, you can't be a follower. You have to be someone who stands out and makes bold choices and decisions. And that's why why I feel I've had success in the industry is because I take things and create unconventional ways of making them great.
You come across like you have a real fighting spirit and you break down barriers, but surely that comes from somewhere. Talk to us about your journey and how you get to be on a show like this, under 30, running your own empire.
Well, I can assure you, I have a fighting spirit, but wow, becoming an entrepreneur, choosing that route is extremely challenging. I have gone through everything possible, and not even yet, but to date.
Yeah.
Where I am now, I've had someone hijacking a brand and a company from me. I've had 2 partners in a previous business that I was involved in that tried to oust me from the company because their egos were too large. You just have to be very careful and learn along the way of what works and what doesn't work and how you need to protect yourself going forward. But you need to be very careful of how you do it.
So you've clearly learned a lot of lessons about doing business along the way. But when did you start with the company? So when did you decide, okay, DanielaShapiro.com is the new baby that you're bringing to the market? And how old were you then?
Okay, so I was 19 when I started my first company. It was a sporting event company, and I bought over the city-to-city marathon, metamorphosized it, gave it a facelift, got Benita's Medical Fund as a title sponsor for 2.5 million. But like I said, had 2 partners. Can't have a successful business going forward with people that you can't grow with.
Yeah.
Made a business decision to get out of there while it was really doing well. So that's when I made my first couple of millions. Yeah, it was very difficult, especially because I was so young and I felt like it was my baby. I got that thing off the ground. But making that business decision was the best thing I ever did, because that's when I decided, and I'm a very fixed person in my regime and my schedules and my life plans. Mm-hmm. And it taught me a very big lesson. You sometimes have to detour from your journey that you're planning, and it takes you on a little different route. And that route was investing and bootstrapping, creating the Daniela Shapiro brand by bootstrapping it using the money that I had made with my sporting
And that's
event
exactly
company.
my next point, because when you do decide to detour, you also have to think about those who are backing you financially, if you have them, and whether they're going to stick with you as you chop and change your mind. But you're saying you had to go back and bootstrap.
I used the money I made there to put into my new company, DanielaShapiro.com. I didn't have any investors because I believe that just to get someone to back you by putting money in and not adding any other value for me is a waste. Why dilute your equity in your business if you don't have to? And you can sacrifice your personal life or your business life and everything that you've got to really make it successful and financially viable on your own.
Let's talk about the future. DanielaShapiro.com, 5 years from now, what kind of conversation are we going to be having? What do you envision when we talk about a 5-year game plan?
When we talk 5-year game plan, well, at the moment, the latest project, which I believe will be part of the 5-year game plan, is we have just launched our new brand, The Glove. The Glove is a range of 12 colored and flavored condoms. We've got the glove with the 12 colors and flavors, stud glove, which is we've got our ribbed and our...
is it fruit flavors or is it just...
We have cherry berry, martini, strawberry martini. We've got the most awesome flavors you could ever think of.
And when is this coming to market?
This is going to be launched in the next month or two. And we're going to be in all the stores, the spas, the BPs, the forecourts. We're going to be all over the place.
And are you particularly looking to get a young market, or are you also saying for the elderly, you can still get your zhuzh on by getting a strawberry daiquiri flavored condom?
Absolutely, it is for all age groups. But you know, we need to change it up a little. The condom, the safety of condom, safe sex, and wearing a condom, it's stale at the moment. So we giving it a facelift and a revamp, and we're creating the wow factor and exciting factor behind it.
Are you going to need more capital and more warm bodies as you go to this next level, or does your business plan continue with the resources that you have behind you right now?
Well, you know, to date, it's financing itself, because we've gotten to a point where we're lucky that we're there, so we don't need financial backing. Going forward, depending on how large it gets, and I envision it becoming very large, it's becoming a global brand. We've trademarked it in all the SADC countries. We're going global with it in the US. I'm planning a trip to New York in the next month. And we're pretty excited about the response. And the most exciting thing about it is the Her Glove range, which is female condoms, which people do not know a lot about. There's a lot of the market's uneducated about it. And let me tell you, when people understand the facts and then they get to know our brand, Her Glove will become the new male condom that people will be wearing.
Well, Daniela, thank you so much for that. Her glove, his glove, whichever glove you want to go, you can get it in a strawberry daiquiri flavor. That's the new condoms coming courtesy of DanielaShapiro.com. She's a brand strategist and she launches new brands, and she can help you take your brand and break the bank with that. A very big thank you to Daniela Shapiro, Chief Executive of DanielaShapiro.com. Thank you for joining us. And don't forget that if you have a Young Money question, you can certainly tweet that to us, and of course using the hashtag Young Money, following me at The Real Nosy. And if you want to be a part of the show and you want us to take your case study on board, all you need to do is get onto Twitter, same details, and we'll bring a Young Money crew to you. Until next time, let's keep it rich and let's keep it real.